Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here, and I'm sorry, but today we need to talk about Astralis. And I know we don't really talk about Astralis a lot on this channel because obviously they're one of the more unpopular organizations in League of Legends, and hey, I'm trying to get views. I'm trying to, grow my channel and have content that people care about. But I hope you guys do stick around for this video because it's not a video just talking about Astralis necessarily. It's talking about some of the things they've been doing and how they're always doing some weird stuff. They're always making weird roster moves, weird decisions, doing weird stuff. But I think they're doing weirder stuff than usual right now. And it's actually, stirring up a little bit of drama, a little bit of controversy, and some people starting to make some hot takes surrounding it. So I think this video will be a lot more interesting than just, talking about Astralis or their roster or their gameplay or, how many games they're going to lose this season or whatever. So, hey, definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. This video could use all the support because, hey, like I said, Astralis videos, they don't get as many clicks as G2, Fnatic, TSM, but I still really want to talk about this. And subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Help us run those numbers up. That would be absolutely awesome. But with that being said, let's get right into this and see what's going on over there with AST. Again, a team we don't get to check in with that often. They tweeted out this before this past weekend. They said, a status on our team and progress. And this was so weird and caught so many people off guard. So let's see what it has to say. It's like a little twit longer. They said, before reading any further, yes, Promise Q is still on the team. Now, I can't tell if that's like ironic, if they're joking. No matter what, that's really weird. And that's them kind of leaning into the, is Promise Q still in the LEC? Yes, type of memes. Weird. I can't believe that's how they started it. That's how their social media team or their organization or whatever choose to start this message. Very strange, but whatever. They said, now, our games and results so far speak for themselves. We are not where we want to be. We are far from satisfied with the results so far. We know there's so much potential in this team. That's a hot take, I guess. More than the players are given credit for by many, but when we don't deliver the results we want, don't live up to our values in game, this is just words. We've seen a lot of progress in scrims, but our biggest issue right now is that we are still not always on the same page in game, which leads to many situations where we have to navigate instinct and skills alone. This bleeds into our team fights, which is a big part of winning games right now. To turn things around, we're taking a step back in some areas to focus on stabilizing the team so we can turn things around in game. Our first week came with good things and bad things. We took the learning from that into week 2, and we believe it made a difference as we played a lot better than we previously did. It is regrettable that we could not take a win until that point, as it continues to make us feel and play worse than we should and what we are capable of. Week 3 was a harsh reality check. We simply didn't show up. I mean, it's just like each week they have a different kind of excuse or something. Like, oh, week 3 we just didn't show up. We're doing really good in scrims. It's like, okay, one, it's scrims. Who cares? Like, you guys are stomping scrims or something? Like, one, I doubt it. And two, even if you were, scrims are practice. Scrims are where you're supposed to be experimenting, working on things, getting better. If you're, if they're like sweating in scrims and winning and then they get to stage and just get stomped every game, like, oh, and hey, week 1 to 2, we got way better. We're just ramping up every week. There's only been 3 weeks, but hey, week 1 to 2, we got better. Week 2 to 3, we just didn't show up. We would have still been ramping up. We would have still been getting better. Like, no, maybe week 2, I don't know who even they played, but maybe they played some weaker competition. Maybe they just showed up a little bit better that day. But you can't just say you're like getting better and learning from your mistakes if that happened 1 week to the next and then 1 out of 2 times you've gotten better, 1 out of 2 times you've gotten worse. Maybe you're ramping down. I don't know. It's super weird. Just a bunch of, meaningless words, whatever. Fact of the matter is we made crucial mistakes when it mattered most, so we deserve the situation we're in. Yes, obviously. So what now? We started the week on Monday with a very open and honest team meeting where we addressed our issues both in-game and out of game. We spoke about group dynamics, structural changes to get more from each week. All this was done to change the flow and make sure we were not afraid to show we want this. That's good. It's also worth acknowledging the mental strain of being a 0-7. Oh, poor you guys. Confidence takes a hit and it affects the way you play. Our mindset has been our biggest enemy. We need to break free and change our perspective into a more positive one in order to come back and turn things around. Confidence does not come overnight, and we know it will take a big effort from all of us, not only from our players, but our entire team. We have great support from everybody in the organization. We've already gone to work. We know where we are, and we all want to fight. That's where we are now. It won't be easy to make this happen, but we'll do everything in our power to achieve it. Hopefully, you will see it on stage this weekend. Thank you for reading this, and if you supported us this season, thank you all for your kind words to the stars. Now, again, I think a lot of this is just BS. A lot of this is just really empty words. I don't want you to tell me how you're getting better or how you're going to get better or the things you're doing. I want you to show me on the Rift. I want you to go out and have a great performance to win some games, but start out by winning a game. I don't want a bunch of twit longers. I don't want, it'd be weird, if like Astralis came into this year and people had high expectations and some things went wrong or they had some issues or whatever. Like, no, Astralis, you've been known for losing the past couple of seasons. Don't act like now you're surprised by all this losing and you have all these excuses and stuff. Like, no, you guys are just a weird, bad organization who makes weird and bad decisions and is very, very cheap and is sitting on your LEC slot. How about that? How about put that in a twit longer for us? But, whatever. And then a bunch of people had responses to this. People said, yeah, stopped reading after the first sentence. And I like that because, yes, it was true. You start this by saying, hey, Promise Q is still on the roster. That's weird. You're like showing some level of self-awareness and kind of memeing in like a serious post, but also Promise Q is still on your roster. Like, I don't know. Super, super weird. This guy said use so many words and managed to say absolutely nothing. Bloop says, what the fuck? It didn't have a good response overall. It got 1,800 likes. I feel like some of those are kind of ironic. Some of those are obviously Astralis fans. Who knows, whatever. I thought this was super weird. Somebody came out and said, I think this is equally important for Astralis fans as it is for the team to simply say something like that. They now have a direct goal to accomplish that might turn the mental around. Don't hate the statement when you trash talk them before it's not meant for you. And I thought that was super, super funny, because the Astralis account came out and said exactly this. This is not for the haters or the critics. This is for the fans and viewers who hope that we turn things around, that wants to believe that we can win and who still supports us even though our results and games have been frustrating to watch so far. And that's super weird to me because, again, that's like, oh, anyone who is critiquing us is a hater. This is not for them. We're not trying to talk to them. It's like, what do you mean? People have very fair and valid criticisms about the weird things that your team and organization does and how you guys foster losing and just a terrible environment and experience and so many bad things for the LEC, and people just want you to do better. That's not being a hater. That's not, all these weird things. Like, they're being so defensive when, again, they should just work on things or do things right or do things better or, super, super weird. I just can't believe the things that they keep saying on Twitter. And then, they come out and say, what fans you say? We might not have the biggest fan base, but we are building the closest fan base in the whole LEC. And like, that's just not true. I mean, that's just absolutely not true. I don't know why you're saying that. We see all your messages and we appreciate them. These are the words that break through all the noise. And, on one hand, maybe it's cool. They're kind of talking about their fan base and stuff and, showing that. But again, just some weird things. I don't know why they chose this weekend to like get aggressive on Twitter and to like start fighting back against people talking about them and stuff. Because again, it's not unfair. The criticism they're getting are not invalid. This is a 0-7 team coming into the weekend. They're an organization that's made weird decisions. Again, they're just a bad team, a bad org, bad management, a lot of bad things. Saying that doesn't make you a hater. Saying it just makes you a person with eyes and like a person who enjoys competitive League of Legends and knows the difference between the good teams, the good orgs, the people making the right decisions, and maybe the teams that are a little bit off and maybe they need a little pep talk or maybe they need something to break their way or whatever. And just a team that is pretty hopeless. And that's where Astralis is right now. It's so strange. And they just had all these different things. Sorry, everyone. We hope to do better, after they lose again. And then kind of, hey, today's a new day. Nobody beats Astralis 9 times in a row. And then, they start out and they're beating Vitality and they're doing all these things. And then, oh, hey, they still lost. Even in the unlosable games, they still find a way to lose. And, now I guess next week their Twitter post is going to be, oh, guys, remember when we almost beat Team Vitality? Like, we went from losing 8 games in a row to, hey, we almost won our 9th game. Like, come on. Super, super weird. So they gave this whole pep talk. They fought back against everyone on Twitter, still came out and lost. So many people are having takes like this. This is from Bloop also, which, it's funny. An organization got like 1,000 likes on their tweet, and then Bloop's coming out with 4,600 saying, it's a shame for the LEC to have a team like Astralis in their league at this point, to be honest. We all turned a blind eye when they changed Origin's name to Astralis just to try to cover up their lack of payment scandal. Besides that, I genuinely don't understand why they would be interested in keeping that spot just to waste money and compete for nothing. Obviously, they see it as a long-term investment. They're hoping to make some money down the road. That's why they're sitting on their spot. I believe that one of the biggest problems with the franchise system is the fact that a team can do the bare minimum because they know they won't be kicked from the league, and that honestly sucks. And then everyone's, saying, hard to say this after a pretty good showing from Astralis. And then Bloop is like, hey, this has nothing to do with the current or former players and staff. It's about the org itself. And again, this is a super weird thing. Hard to say that after a pretty good showing. They almost, after starting out 0-8, they almost won one single game. And there's people coming out in defense of Astralis being like, hey, guys, they almost won a game this week. Like, no. That's super, super weird. Come on. They're 0-9. Yes, they did almost win a game. But when you look at the first half of the split in its entirety, Really, really embarrassing, really, really disappointing. And again, if this was the first split that's ever happened for Astralis, or if this was out of the ordinary, that's one thing, but it's not. This is becoming the norm. And just like Bloop says, at this point, it is a shame to have an organization like Astralis in the LEC. And they don't need to be fighting back against people on Twitter. They don't need to be, putting out random messages about how things are going to get better, how just wait, you'll see, and all this. They need to show us. They need to start doing better. Need to start making better decisions. From what I've heard, they're one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest team in the entire LEC. They don't try and spend money. They don't have good management. They don't have good structure. They don't have good coaching. They don't have good players. They don't have a lot of things going for them. They don't have the closest fan base in the LEC. And I don't know. They need to do a lot of things different, but they for sure, I hope, don't keep rolling with this new Twitter identity or whatever, because I don't think it's helping the situation. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Tell me to drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this whole situation. Do you think Astralis should still be in the LEC? It seems to me like there's some other good teams out there. Koi, K-Corp, Heretics, Big. A lot of teams that would love this LEC slot and probably do a lot more with it. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then.